Imagine if tomorrow, hopefully not, a global nuclear war broke out that completely wiped out humanity. Our species, Homo sapiens, would have existed on the face of the Earth for about 300,000 years. However, if we look at the history of the planet in perspective, our presence is just a whisper in the vastness of geologic time. The Earth formed about 4,550,000,000 years ago, and the earliest evidence of life we know of dates back to 3,770,000,000 years ago. For most of that time, life was microscopic. It was about 540 million years ago that an event known as the Cambrian explosion took place, a period in which most of the animal groups we know today emerged, including vertebrates. Since then, our planet has witnessed 5 mass extinctions. Each of them wiped out between 76 and 96% of all living species, almost completely erasing existing life and allowing the emergence of new life forms in the following periods. This leads us to a disturbing question. If life has evolved and thrived for hundreds of millions of years, and we know that in just 300,000 years, humans have gone from being a group of primates to a technological civilization capable of exploring space, is it possible that before us there was another intelligent species that also dominated the Earth? The trail of a pre-human civilization. Today we know that our species has not been the only one of the genus Homo. Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo erectus, Homo floresiensis. There were almost 20 human species before us, but they all went extinct. Only Homo sapiens survived. Thanks to the fossil record, we know that these species existed. But what if there had been an intelligent and technologically advanced species millions of years ago? Would we be able to find evidence of its existence? The problem is that the fossilization process is extremely rare. It is estimated that the probability of a bone becoming a fossil is 1 in a million. To give you an idea, if today there are about 8 billion human beings on the planet, and each one has 206 bones, if all of humanity were to suddenly become extinct, only about 1,600 bones would be fossilized worldwide. In addition, the movement of tectonic plates, erosion, and geological changes constantly destroy the oldest remains. For example, the oldest undisturbed surface on Earth, in the Negev desert in Israel, is only 1,800,000 years old. This means that if an advanced civilization had existed 100 million years ago, it is very likely that there would be no trace of it left. And what about artifacts? If a pre-human civilization had developed tools, cities or monuments like the pyramids of Egypt, it is possible that some of these remains would have survived. However, there is a problem. Today's human cities would disappear in a few centuries if humanity were to become extinct. In 10,000 years, skyscrapers would have collapsed and vegetation would have covered the ruins. In 100,000 years, the remains of asphalt, steel and concrete would have practically disappeared. In 1,000,000 years, only a minimal geological footprint would remain. In 100 million years, even this footprint would probably have been completely erased. In fact, many of the dinosaur fossils we have found are not original bones, but mineral molds created by the fossilization process. If our buildings and artifacts had been buried for tens of millions of years, they would probably have been pulverized by geological pressure or transformed into minerals indistinguishable from natural rock. The mystery of the prehistoric Anthropocene. In 2018, astrophysicist Adam Frank and NASA climatologist Gavin Schmidt proposed the Silurian hypothesis in honor of a fictional species of intelligent reptiles in the Doctor Who series. Their question was simple. If an industrial civilization had existed on Earth millions of years ago, how could we detect it? The answer was not in looking for fossils or artifacts, but in the geological and atmospheric records. For example, changes in the composition of sediments could indicate the massive use of fertilizers. The presence of plastics or industrial waste in very old geological layers would be unmistakable proof of a technological civilization. The existence of radioactive isotopes such as plutonium-244, which has a half-life of 80 million years, could be a sign of a prehistoric nuclear war. However, to date, we have found no evidence that anything like this has ever happened. What if a pre-human civilization had reached space? If an intelligent species had existed 100 million years ago, could it have developed space technology? If a civilization reached a sufficient level of development, it could have left Earth before becoming extinct. If so, it would be easier to find traces on the Moon or Mars than on Earth itself. This leads us to another disturbing question. If in the future we explore other planets and find remains of an alien civilization that died out millions of years ago, would we be able to recognize it? Conclusion: could a civilization have existed before ours? For now, there is no evidence that a pre-human species has achieved a level of intelligence comparable to ours. However, given the enormous timescale of Earth's history and the fragility of material evidence, we cannot rule it out entirely. If an intelligent civilization ever existed before humanity, its trace may have been completely erased by time, or it may still be waiting to be discovered. What do you think? Do you think it is possible that another intelligent species existed before us? Leave us your opinion in the comments, and if you like this topic, subscribe so you don't miss our next videos. See you in the next episode.